All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. And what is it? Today's the 13th. Got 2 more days until taxes. So the 15th, David, your taxes are due like everybody else. Okay. You have 2 days to pay your taxes. And this is kind of something I'm going to talk about today. Is you haven't paid your taxes since 2017, David. Okay. But yet here we are, right? We have to go on every year on the money paying taxes on the 15th of April. Meanwhile, David gets to sit here, all right? And I am a firm believer that David is laundering money through his organization. Firm believer. Why else would he find the need to change his name so many times? Unless he's got something to seriously hide, right? This is a big question for me. David, why do you change your name so many times? Why haven't you filed your taxes? Why have you changed your names? Why did you move all the assets out of Michelle's name? Or out of your name and into Michelle's? These are very questionable things that you're doing because you're supposed to have all this, what is it, continuity and openness of your books and your finances, and everything's supposed to be specific and accurate. But David, you haven't provided 1 ounce of financial statements for the last, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 years of your organization. And we know it's a cult, David. We know you're a cult. We know, I am a firm believer you're laundering money. 100%. Why else? Again, David, why else would you change all your names? Okay? I want to talk about something too with regards to Google and YouTube about lawsuits and things like this and defamation and hearsay. You know, it's funny that YouTube, all right, YouTube is quick to come out and protect just the shitty fucking scam artist pieces of shit that operate on the platform, right? They're quick to protect them, 100%. They don't want that. They're quick to protect them for some reason. Why? I don't know, because it's about the money, I'm guessing. But here we are talking about his scam, and it's YouTube will suppress the information because they don't want money laundering on their platform, which is exactly what's fucking happening, YouTube. How do you guys not get that? By you allowing these false prosperity ministers onto your platform, they are laundering money using your platform. 100%. They don't pay their taxes. They don't file reports. David E. Taylor's been on your platform for the last 5-6 years running a tax scam, and you guys don't do anything about it. You'll protect him. You'll copyright everything else and take channels down about people who are talking out up against him and calling out his lies and exposing the truth. But again, I got an email today from one of the subscribers, and I'm taking a lot of advice from them. They're very concerned about what I was saying about certain things, which is understandable. I get it, 100%. And was I crossing some lines? Absolutely, probably. But I don't give a fuck. Why should I if David doesn't give a fuck what he's doing? He can come out here and run this full-blown fucking scam, right? He doesn't give a shit. Why should I care? Why should I care about the truth I'm telling when I know it's facts? When I know for sure the information I'm putting out is truth. Because the information we've researched in this, I don't put out information without getting the facts. That's a part of this. This is journalism as far as I'm concerned. This is journalism. You have to get facts because I'm not going to come out here and lie to you guys. Is David dead? Could be for all I fucking know because we haven't seen him. Everything's being switched into Michelle's name. That's a huge fucking sign to me that something is very wrong. Why? David is not the type of person to just sign shit over to people. No fucking way. There is no way David will just sign a house over to Michelle or to Kira or the building over to somebody. There is no way in hell you can tell a compulsive con artist, a compulsive lying sack of shit scam artist like David to sign over a house. The residential center at that, the one that was so much turmoil over, to sign it over to Michelle. Oh, here you go, Michelle. You can have the residential center now. This person was basically concerned that I was going to find myself in legal trouble. And I get it. I get it. That thought crosses my mind all the goddamn time. But again, why should I give a fuck if YouTube is just going to allow the extremism on the platform and not allow us to expose the truth? They're suppressing the truth actively. YouTube does. YouTube and Google. YouTube and Google are the same. They're the bumping heads, man. YouTube and Google are the same entity. Is it fighting a losing battle? Fuck yeah, it is. Unless something's done about it. Unless YouTube is reported as an extremist organization. They're allowing extremist organizations to operate on their platforms. Why not report them as somebody who's allowing that behavior? I don't consider myself an extremist, but David, absolutely. Kenneth Copeland, absolutely. Jesse Duplantis, Joel Osteen, religious extremism right there. That's religious extremism. Again, YouTube saying, yeah, it's okay, guys. You could go ahead and launder money through our platform and we're not going to do anything about it. It's okay. We don't care because we're all fucking paid in with each other. It's the way it is, man. YouTube's paid in. The government's paid in. I'm sure YouTube pays off the government. Why the fuck wouldn't they, man? Why wouldn't they? The contacts here, sir, just trying to help you out, and I appreciate that, man. They're saying most courts hate social media. Yes, they do. Why? Because social media has the tendency to build fucking cases on their people. On the people going to court. There was a case here in San Antonio where some kids were riding around posted with guns and drugs on their fucking Instagram. They got pulled over. Guess what they found in the fucking car? Guns and drugs. Guess what they did? Pulled their social media pages, just built their case. This person says, maybe the reason David hasn't replied is because of lawyers. Who knows? But I would like to think that David can't afford lawyers anymore. He's paying lawyers off right now with the Harold Lewis case. He's got a settlement to pay. David's paying lawyers, 100%. But the thing is David sent me a cease and desist, right? David sent me a cease and desist in, I think, November of last year. Telling me that I had his and Michelle's social security number, which I do have your social security number, David, but you can't get me on that. That was found on another website. So you can't get me on that. So fuck off, okay? That was found on another website that was built by somebody else, David. I think it was built by Rick Fraser, I'm pretty sure. That David E. Taylor website was built by Rick Fraser with all the documents and shit on it. That David, your social security number is there. That's exactly where your social security number is at. So you can't get me on that. Michelle, I don't have yours, okay? Like you said in the cease and desist. And then they tried to get me on the Axe Michelle shirt saying it was a threatening message. How much more fucking elementary can you guys be? David, Michelle, really? That's your only avenue of approach to get me to shut up, is a fucking cease and desist saying I'm sending threatening messages that I have your social security number? Yes, I do have your social security number, and it's on my fraud reports in my office, David. That's why I have your social security number. That was the one piece of information I wanted. That way I could put it on the fraud reports, because that's the most accurate way to identify somebody, David, your social security number. And it's also leading me to believe this is a reason why he is now switching all the assets out of his name, is because he doesn't want any assets in his name when the fucking hammer comes down. If the hammer comes down, when it comes down. If it ever does. I feel like by the time it does, though, all the shit's already going to be moved out of his name. He's like, oh, I don't have any money now. I don't have any assets. None of this stuff is mine. It all belongs to the church. It belongs to Michelle now. Like I said, man, Michelle's name is on the residential center. You look it up in the county appraisal district. It's all there. Not to mention about the 8 or 9 other homes that they have listed under the church's LLC. And again, this is why it's shady, guys. What church opens an LLC? You know what an LLC does, right? LLC protects the properties. Like, okay, so say David's got all these mansions. Say the hammer comes down. They won't be able to take the properties. All they'll be able to take is the business assets. That's it. Business assets, the cameras, the equipment, stuff like that, chairs, office equipment, the building. They won't be able to take his personal assets. That's why they opened LLCs. That's why LLCs are open. I should technically be running an LLC for my business, 100%, to protect my home. And that's exactly why David is doing this, is to protect his homes, 100%. Why else would he move all that stuff out of his name? David's not going to do that, not willingly. There's no fucking way. I mean, if you guys really think David would move his assets out willingly, leave it in this comment section below. Let me know why you think he'd move his assets out willingly. Or if he's moving them out, why is he moving them out? You know, my contact here says, you know, it's one thing to mock his services or claims of growing back limbs. I would keep it at that. Not trying to be negative, just trying to give you some advice. 100%. But I feel like it's also necessary to call out the lies and the scam that he's doing. How he's saying, give me all your money and, you know, we're going to do this and this with it. But he hasn't. He hasn't done any of that. He's got trailers that are sitting in back of his fucking JMMI building just rotting away and catching rust, and the decals are falling off. A lot of the stuff we put out here is facts, David. And I want to say thank you to my contact for sending me this email and sharing your concerns. And I'm taking these I'm taking these highly, 100%. I see what you're saying. I get it. And these are some of the things that kind of scared me in the beginning. But what hurts David is the truth. The truth hurts David because he's been lying his whole life. That's why we have to get him with the truth. Because he's been out here manipulating, lying, scamming, laundering money, trafficking drugs probably. Again, I think all this stuff is happening. This is my opinion because given what we just saw out of the Sarah Lawrence College, David's right up. Lawrence Ray is the white version of David E. Taylor. That's what Lawrence Ray is. Lawrence Ray just got caught. And the thing about Lawrence Ray is there are videos of him doing the abuse to people. Actually grabbing this kid's tongue with a pair of pliers. You know, shit like that. I could see David doing that. I could definitely see David doing that. Striking the individuals, hitting them. I know for a fact, eyewitness account told me they saw Michelle sitting on top of somebody, fucking pointing at them on their chest like this. So I know there's abuse going on inside this cult. It's just, people are scared to speak out against David because what he does is sends out these fucking stalkers and shit to scare these people. This is not a lie, guys. David sends out stalkers of ex-members to intimidate and scare them. The truth hurts, David. I will continue to speak the truth when I know it's the truth. And I do. I firmly believe David is seriously fucking sick or dead. Whether he's taken the advice of his lawyers or not, I don't think he has lawyers. Who's going to want to deal with David? Look at how much time he spent in that fucking court case with Harold Lewis. 4 years, at which time they just settled it all of a sudden. Said, oh, we're just going to go ahead and settle it out of court. After all that time and money's been spent. Ridiculous, right? Again, thanks for the email. You know who you are. And I will take this advice highly, 100%. Because I knew in the end, like, there could be some kind of repercussion, but I'm ready, I'm ready to deal with that for the truth, man. I'm ready to deal with that for the truth. If David's going to sit here and fucking lie and manipulate and scam and just deceptively steal money from people, I will continue to speak out against it, or any fucking sack of shit like that for that matter. Catherine Crick, Jesse Duplantis, Copeland, all of them. They've lived their paradise on earth. The prosperity ministers have a one-way ticket to hell because, again, they've lived their paradise on earth. Planes, mansions, living the lavish lifestyle, gold, cars, It's easier for a poor man to get through it's easier for a poor man or a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. I said that right. Yeah. I think I said that right. Basically, it's like, money means nothing. It's material, David. Do you understand that? When you die, your money doesn't go with you to heaven, okay? You get that, right? You get that. So with that being said, guys, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? If you think, I don't know, man. If you think if y'all think I should start a different approach with David, let me know. I'm all ears. This is the only way I know how to do it, though. I mean, the internet's a great thing. When it's used correctly, I mean, it can benefit or it can just destroy you like it has David. I've used the internet in this situation to my benefit to research David's cult. Get the stories, get the eyewitness testimonies, and tell the stories as they need to be told. Some stories I haven't told yet because there's people out there that aren't ready to have their stories told yet. I can't force them to tell their stories, but when you guys are ready to tell your stories about David or any other cult for that matter, you come here. You come talk to us, tell your story, you'll be safe here. You're not going to be laughed at or thought less of. If anything, you're going to be welcomed and accepted. So, you guys, I will continue to expose the truth on David or any other fucking sack of shit prosperity scam artist minister that wants to come on the scene and try to lie to people. Not necessarily, well, they are lying to people, but saying they're going to heal people too. This is what I don't get is, at what point does the government say, you guys aren't fucking doctors, you guys aren't healing these people, this is all fucking bullshit, you need to stop. You have to stop. You know, the government's quick to put in amendments about gun laws and shit like that, but when it comes to religion, oh, we don't want to do religion because it's just too touchy. It's too much of a subject. Yeah, it's because y'all are fucking paid off by the churches. That's why. So, a lot of double standards, guys. A lot of double standards on the social media world, on YouTube, on Google. They control the narratives here, 100%. YouTube and Google control the narratives. They are playing God in this situation. My hair's not in the glory today, guys. Sorry, I need to get it cut. YouTube and Google are the ones playing God. We have no control over what they do. They are doing it to fill their pockets, 100%. They don't care about us. The content creators, they don't care about us. When you're monetized, YouTube is, say you're making $20 a month on YouTube, YouTube is probably making $20,000 a month on your ad space. Catch my drift. That's how shitty the turnaround is for content creators on YouTube, unless you have 1 million subscribers. You know, then you're actually making the money, but you're still, it's like you become like, I hate to say it like this, I'm not saying you people are Judas, but it's like, it's almost like we're supporting the behavior of YouTube by, get over it. What's your problem? I got some dogs with attitudes, man. You okay, buddy? That being said, guys, questions, comments, concerns, man, you guys leave them below. You okay, buddy? You okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Leave them below. Sorry for that little spill there just a second ago. I will continue to expose the truth. And I will continue to tell the truth about David. Anytime I get a little bit of information, I'm going to keep putting out about him. The cease and desist, I mean, last time I spoke to David's attorneys, they told me I should go ahead and seek legal advice. I haven't heard shit back from them. That was in November. Haven't heard anything, you know, from what I was told, that cease and desist was just a little bitch-made move of David trying to silence me.